guys! So today's class is called Low Back Love, and we're going to be working on releasing into the lower back, a little bit into the hamstrings and into the hip flexors as well. So the idea is that you're going to be left feeling nice and open in this area, especially if you feel like you're really holding tension here today. So we're going to need a block, or if you don't have a block, a rolled up blanket or a towel that you can pop underneath your low back. Other than that, just make sure that you're comfortable and let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start lying on our backs, bringing yourself down to your space. And I want you to start with your feet wider than hip width, bent knees, and we're just going to take a moment to tuck the pelvis under here. So I want you to start without too much of a space between your lower back and the floor. So if you can tilt the pelvis and then just plant the soles of your feet down, allow your shoulders to rest down away from the ears and allow the hands to drop to the sides. And as we come into this position, we're just going to start to check in with our body. So as we're focusing on the low back today, I want you to bring your awareness there first. And just being aware of any sensations that you have in this area. Maybe you're feeling a bit tight, maybe you're carrying some pain here today. Whatever's going on there, just acknowledge it, be aware of how you're feeling. And then see if you can find a little bit more softness in your body. So not just in the back, but maybe in the shoulders as well, in the arms, in the head. Just really allowing the body to give in to the support of the floor. Feeling supported and relaxed. Bring your attention to your breath. As you start to deepen the breath, think about trying to breathe right the way down to your lower back, to that kidney area, maybe even all the way down into your hips. As you breathe in, you want to feel that space widening, and you maybe even be able to feel the back gently pressing into the mat. And then as you breathe out, just try to soften that area. Breathing in to create space in the back, to find expansion there. And then breathing out to find softness. Now, as we continue with these nice deep breaths, as we continue to breathe into the back of the body, I want you to gently reach your arms up with your next breath in and allow the back to gently arch. So not too much effort here. Finding a stretch for the front side of your body. As you breathe out, bring your arms down beside you and press the lower back into the mat. We're going to do this just up and down with the breath, inhaling to reach up, allowing the back to gently arch, and then breathing out to bring the arms down. Feeling the pelvis rock, and just seeing if you can make the movement slightly bigger with each one you do. The end of the next exhale, I want you to press the lower back down into the floor. So feel this gentle tuck of the pelvis, and then just hold that connection with your back body and the mat. You might feel that your pelvic floor is starting to lift here. You might feel that your buttocks are engaged slightly, that's fine. Just think about pressing the back down and holding that connection for 4, 3, 2, 1. Softening, release the buttocks, release the back. And then take the feet slightly wider on the mat. So we're looking for the edges of the mat with the toes. Arms can go out to the sides, give yourself a bit more space, maybe bending the elbows if that works. And then just allow the knees to rock from side to side. So again, not too much effort, keeping the body nice and relaxed. And we want to just be curious here, so we're not forcing the legs down because I've told you to take them side to side. You're thinking about how this feels for you. Does one side feel more open than the other? Is there any pain? If you're experiencing pain, back away from it. If it feels pretty good, then maybe you can go a little bit deeper with the knees. You may even be able to bring the knee all the way down to the ground. But just make sure that you're listening to your body. You're doing something that feels good rather than something that creates more tension. Okay, now the next time you take your legs over to the left, we're going to hold them there. Wriggle the right foot further to the right. So we're stacking the knee in line with the hip bone, and you can take a gentle look up if you need to, just making sure that that's in the right position. And as we hold here, we're going to breathe deeply right the way down to the lower back and into the hip. Slowly bringing the knees back up to center and finding the edges of the mat with the toes. Bring both knees down to the right side. Wriggle your left foot to the left, just stacking the knee in line with the hip again and allowing the legs to be heavy. Again, maybe just noticing if there's any difference between the two sides of your body. Maybe one side feels a bit tighter, you're finding it hard to let go. And if you do feel like your body is gripping on, and just try to deepen your breath. Try to think about softening with the exhale. Gently bringing the knees back up to center again. And then walking the feet in so they're about hip width apart. Bring the knees in towards you, reaching for the knees. And then gently pull the knees in towards the shoulders. So we want to keep the shoulders relaxed here. Make sure that we're not lifting the head or the neck to get there. Everything stays grounded. And as you draw the knees closer to the shoulders, we can take a rock side to side. So we're just easing into that lower back area. Make sure the feet stay nice and relaxed. Good, and then bringing the knees all the way in together. Again, we're going to open the arms out to the side and take a gentle twist. So you can bring your feet down onto the ground if you need more support here, or you can twist from where you are. Taking the knees to the left first, knees stay together, right shoulder stays grounded, and we're going to start to breathe all the way down the right side of the body. Try and relax into your feet, into both legs. And then slowly bringing the knees back up to center. Again, we can either lift them to bring them back to center, or you can keep your feet down. Taking both knees over to the right side. Keeping the left arm, left shoulder grounded. Relax the legs to the right. And breathe into the left side of your body. Gently bringing the knees back up to center. And then just placing the soles of the feet down onto the ground. Go about hip width apart with the feet. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling and just reaching for the back of the leg with the hands. We're going to ease the leg towards us. So the leg might straighten easily, or it might look more like this, it might be bent. Either is fine, as long as we're pulling the top part of the leg in towards the chest. Okay, and then once you're there, try to point and flex the foot a few times, just stretching into the calf, into the hamstring. Good, and then from here we're going to bend the knee more. Reach for the outside of the foot. Now if we can't get the outside of the foot, we can take hold of the calf or even the back of the knee. I want you to draw the knee out towards the side and down towards the armpit or towards the ground. So it's like a half happy baby stretch. The left buttock stays grounded. We don't want the left hip to roll open or across. We're just keeping it nice and parallel. And as you pull the knee down, make sure that the shoulders are soft. A couple of big breaths here. And crossing the right ankle over onto your left thigh, we're going to come into figure 4. So flexing the right foot, right hand opens the knee out to the side. Now if you're feeling particularly tight here or you've got a lot of pain in the back, keep the legs grounded. Gently just push into that right thigh to open the knee up. If you feel like you'd like to go a bit deeper, then you can bring the left leg in towards the chest, either hands to the back of the leg or hands to the shin. But make sure that you're working in a place that feels good for your body. Again, we don't want to create any tension. We're trying to find space. And if you have lifted your knee towards your chest, then you might want to take a sway side to side. You might just want to hold still. And then releasing the left foot back down onto the ground. Slide your right knee over your left, so we're crossing the knees. Move your hips to the right side of the mat slightly and allow both knees to lower to the left. So you're coming into a twist again. Arms can go wide and we want the legs to relax as much as possible to the left side. If it helps you to stay with the breath, just close off the eyes. Again, with each exhale, see if you can go a little bit deeper into that twist. See if you can let go of the legs a bit more. Slowly bringing the knees back up to center. Uncrossing the legs. We're going to move the hips back to the center of the mat. Give your knees a little bit of a sway side to side. And then starting on the other side, you're going to reach the left heel up. So again, we can take a bent knee here, or we can have a straight leg, bringing the top of the leg in towards the chest, and then just starting to point and flex your left foot. Good, bending into the knee. Let's take half happy baby. So wherever we were before, maybe the knee, the ankle or the outside of the foot. We lift the sole of the foot up, we draw the knee down, making sure that this right foot stays planted and we're not softening into the hip in either direction. So a few deep breaths here. And then crossing left ankle onto the right thigh. Flex the left foot. Use your left hand to open up the left knee. Figure of 4. Again, whatever you did on the other side, have a go on this side. So if you reached forwards for the leg, do that. If you kept it grounded, do that. Maybe you want to sway. Just again, looking for the best stretch for you here, whatever feels the best in your body. Make sure that the shoulders are still softening. Just check in with the upper body as well. And then releasing the right foot back down onto the mat. Slide your left leg over your right. Move your hips to the left edge of the mat and lower the knees to the right side. Arms can open up. Again, we're keeping the shoulders heavy, softening into the waist and really feeling the rib cage, that middle part of the back, move over to the right side. Slowing down the breath. Gently bring the knees back up. Uncross the legs. Bring the hips back to the center of the mat. Giving the knees a little bit of a sway. And finding something to pop underneath your pelvis. So if you have a block, that's ideal. If not, just a rolled up blanket or a cushion even here, just to elevate your hips slightly. So once we're in position, you should be able to let go with ease. It should be comfortable to do so. We're going to walk the soles of the feet together and let the knees open out into butterfly. So softening into your outer hips. Whatever you want to do with your hands, they can rest on your lower belly, they can rest out to the sides. Just going to take 3 big breaths here. And then bringing the knees in together once you've taken those 3 big breaths. From this position, gently stretch both legs out along the floor. Take the arms up above the head. Lengthen through the sides of the body. Give yourself a really big stretch, wriggling one hand higher than the other. And then gently walking the feet back in towards you. Allowing the arms to rest out to the sides. We're just going to hold this supported bridge pose. So it's a really gentle bridge pose. Breathing deeply and softening the pelvis, softening the lower back into the block or into the cushion. It's really starting to feel the weight of the body here. And then gently bringing the arms back down beside you and taking the block out from underneath you. Roll down through the spine. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a hug again. You might want to rock the knees in and out. You might want to do some small circles. Just whatever feels best for you. And then placing the feet back down again, we're going to roll over to one side and use your hands to very slowly bring yourself all the way up to sitting. And once we get up, we can just take a moment here to sit back, to take the feet nice and wide. And as you lean back into your hands, I want you to allow the knees to rock from side to side. So just like we did when we were lying a moment ago, maybe the knees come all the way to the ground, maybe they stay higher, it might be a much smaller movement in your body. Just make sure that you're listening to how this feels. And if it does feel pretty good, if it feels pretty easy, then you might want to do this a few times without having the hands on the floor. So just working into the hips a little bit more. Good. And then from here, bringing the knees back up, walk the feet all the way in. And bringing the feet together if you can. I'm going to struggle with that one today. But so if you can bring your feet all the way in, your knees in as well, and then wrap your arms around your knees. So giving yourself a really tight squeeze, chin to chest, curling into a ball. Breathe into the back of your body. And then rising up. We're going to gently bring the legs around to hands and knees. So finding all fours, and spreading through your fingers, taking your knees underneath the hips. As soon as you get here, just start to shift the weight around. It doesn't have to be big movements, especially if you're carrying pain here today. It can be really small. But I want you to try and find some freedom in your back. So almost like you're wagging your tail here, start to swing your bottom from side to side. And as you do that, we can look towards the hip. So as you swing to the right, gently look to the right. As you swing to the left, look to the left. Maybe that movement gets a bit bigger, maybe it stays small. Good, and then from there, start to draw small circles with your hips only. So we're just isolating this movement in the lower body. Moving around in both directions and keeping it, again, as free as possible. Allow the movement to get a bit bigger and see if you can roll the rib cage at the same time. If this doesn't feel good in your body, or if you're having trouble figuring this one out, then just keep those hip circles going. But if you can, see if you can involve more of your body. See if you can maybe even stretch into the middle back and the shoulders as well. And then from here, slowing it down, coming back to center, we're going to work through some cat-cows. So inhaling to lift the heart, lift the eyes, look forwards. Exhale, tucking under, push the palms down, push the shins down, chin to chest. And we keep going with the breath. Again, you choose the pace, you choose how far you take this stretch. Nice and slow. Good, and then from here, just rocking back onto your heels. Now you might want to give yourself a bit more space with the knees here. Sinking back towards your heels, come down onto your forearms. So just stay supported to begin with. Figure out how this feels in the lower back. Can you wriggle a bit more? Can you really get your bottom to sit back on your feet? And then once you're in that position, can you wriggle your arms further forwards and start to lengthen into your back? So we might be able to have the arms fully extended, maybe the head comes down to the floor. Or if you want to feel more supported, keep your arms tucked in and just rest on the forearms instead. Whatever position you're in, I want you to breathe into your back body. So send the breath into the lower back area, into the kidneys, into the back ribs. Feel the back widening with every breath in and softening with every breath out. And then rising back up, starting to walk your hands towards the top of the mat. We're going to bring the knees into parallel. And as we bring the hands forwards, we're going to draw big circles with the hips here now. So snaking through the body a bit more. Allowing the hips to dip, but keeping an awareness in the front side of your body. So we're still hugging the belly in. Moving around in both directions. Good. And then coming back to neutral with the body. We're going to make sure that the knees are underneath the hips, taking the right hand to the top left hand corner. This is an extended child's pose now. So dropping down onto your left forearm. The right hand stays glued where it is. The head is resting and we start to pull away. So I want you to feel this stretch all the way down your right arm into the right armpit, into the side ribs, maybe even all the way into the lower back. Breathing deeply. And then rising back up slowly. Switching sides, take the left hand to the top right hand corner. Bring your right forearm down, rest your head on the forearm and begin to lean away. So I'm really stretching out the left side. I'm allowing the head to hang. Breathing deeply into the lower back. And then rising back up again. Just bringing the hands in underneath you. Walk your hands in slowly. And making your way all the way back onto the heels. Come to kneeling. Okay, as we sit here, if you need to pop something underneath your knees, please do. Maybe a blanket goes here. Maybe a cushion. If we're feeling pretty comfortable, then just rest your hands onto your thighs. Roll your shoulders back and take a moment to sit tall. Lengthen up through the back of the body. Slow down the breath and just start to bring your awareness to your back body again. As you bring your awareness to your back body, I want you to feel that expansion in your back with your breath. So we're breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. We're feeling that space widen. We're breathing into this space in between the back ribs and we're feeling that space widen. We're breathing into this space in the lower back and feeling that space expand. And then just bringing your hands into heart center. Take a big breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth to release.